Board. All right, we are live. Zack Hall, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. How you?
Doing okay, dude. I've been up at the St. Lawrence River since last Wednesday, so it feels like forever since I've done a podcast because I uploaded a few, I recorded a few in a matter of 1 or 2 days, and then I just took like that week to just fish up at the river. So this kind of feels like a whole new thing. Like you've been doing something for a while, and you come back to it, you feel rusty.
Yeah,
I feel rusty. So apologies to our listeners if this is a cringy start. So we're not even removing Zack to do our intro here because Zack is a regular face, so you guys are used to him being here. He's like he's like the uncle that comes in now and then for an introduction to be a co-host.
Yeah, shitter's full. Is that
the Christmas movie?
Yeah.
What is it called again? I'm trying to remember.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation or something like that. Cousin
I know what
Eddie.
you're talking about.
Oh yeah, it was Cousin Eddie. It wasn't even Uncle. So I messed that one up.
I get your gist though. So you are driving back from Kentucky?
Yeah, I've been working down in Kentucky. Coming back to Michigan for the weekends to fish BFLs and see some family, hang out. Nice.
Well, we're gonna get into that because obviously, from the title, everybody knows Zack here is a BFL winner now, Mr. Big Man on Campus.
Cha-ching! Don't go nowhere without it.
If you're listening to the podcast and not watching, Zack is driving while hoisting his trophy.
Yeah, there's nobody around. I wish there was. See what kind of looks I can get.
Well, guys, welcome back to another Serious Angler podcast, episode number 113, with my good buddy here, Zack Hall. Before we get into today's pod today, huge shout out to Douglas Outdoors and Queen Tackle. Also, an apology to Queen Tackle for I lost probably 30 to 40 drop shot weights this weekend. Queen Tackle drop shot weights. Rip. But also thank you to Douglas Outdoors for the 610 3XF and the 724 XF that I completely beat the crap out of this weekend with some big old St. Lawrence River smallmouth. So that was a blast. And looking forward to talking about that a little bit with you, Zack, and kind of sharing some of our co-angling stories this weekend.
Yeah, you almost took first too.
Almost. I got my butt spanked my first. There was a huge gap between first and second.
That's pretty cool, though. Second is, I would have been proud with a top 10 in the tournament I was fishing in. I would have been proud with top 20, honestly.
Yeah.
So, second place, that's pretty cool, too.
Yeah, it was all right. It was definitely fun. It set me up nice for the next tournament. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But dude, FLW BFL, Lake St. Clair, technically Detroit River. We'll pull it up right here. We'll add this to the screen. For those watching here, we're pulling up the results. Zack here, 22 pounds, 3 ounces. Absolutely murked second place by 4 pounds. Just show them up, dude. And not only this, but guys, if you guys are looking at this, if you go to the pro side, Zack beat the first place boater side by 2 pounds.
Yeah. I tried to get him to write me a check for the boater side too because I technically won both, but they just looked at me like I was crazy.
That could be an interesting rule. If the co-angler wins the whole tournament, the co-angler wins both checks, but if the boater wins, then he just gets the boater check.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
That would stir up a bunch of people.
Yeah, it would. Well, I feel like they was already stirred up just from seeing that 22 pounds on the board.
Oh, were you getting looks?
The crowd was murmuring. Nothing like bad. It's just a lot of like, oh, man, that dude's so lucky. I'm just like, man, if you only knew what I went through the past 3 months out here on this lake.
Yeah, right? Peep the channel.
I spent a lot of time out there. So. But,
dude, so where you won it was in an area, like you mentioned, it was in a general area of where you've been putting in a lot of work in this spring. And I think you got lucky in the fact that your boater went near that area, but I think you knew exactly how to adjust and what to throw, where to throw, how to present it, and that's why you did so well.
Yeah, like the night before, you get in touch with your boater and you talk to each other and you plan everything out for the next day. And he called, and I was kind of asking him the general area he was planning on fishing, how he was wanting to fish for him, and all that kind of stuff. And when he started telling me where, it immediately ding, and he started telling me the depth range he was targeting and all this kind of stuff. I literally knew almost exactly where he was wanting to go, the way he narrowed it down for me. And he said he was trying to focus on drop shot, which is not a bad idea at all. It's not a bad technique out there. But I already knew how the crankbait bite is over in that general area, where the way the grass clumps are and stuff like that. And showed up the next morning. Super cool dude. We went, launched at the Detroit River and headed north, and it was probably the most horrible thunderstorm I've ever been in a bass boat in my entire life. But the dude was super methodical. He went slow. Everything he did was well thought out to keep us safe. The dude was an animal. We was in some bad stuff. And we both agreed, let's just push through it and get up there. Because we both kind of knew that not everybody else is going to be doing what we're doing to go that far north through that bad of a storm. I mean, we got lightning popping on our left and popping on our right. Like, some people were seeking shelter. It was one of those situations where not seeking shelter was kind of dumb, but we was willing to risk it to get the biscuit. We was on the same page all day long for the most part, and it was just nuts. Getting through there, finally getting to the spot, still storming. Second cast, I get a 5-pounder.
That's sick.
It was insane. The day just started off balls to the wall, but it was a very long, drawn-out day of bites. I got 6 smallmouth bites all day, but they were the 6 right ones.
Yeah. That's
he caught a few more than me with drop shot, and he did switch over to crankbait halfway through the day because it was right there in front of him. I mean, that's what the bigs are coming on. So he switched over, and we both tag team on him, and he caught 2 nice 4-pounders. So his switch helped him out, but he did catch more fish on a drop shot. I just eliminated a lot of those little fish with that crankbait. Yeah. It was insane. I couldn't believe that was the area he wanted to fish. That was perfect. I went to bed and slept so good that night, knowing that I was going to wake up and fish one of my favorite spots the next morning.
That was probably a very reassuring feeling, and it probably had that juice flowing a little bit better because you had a rough first day on Saturday. Yeah. So it was probably very reassuring for you to go out, to obviously prepare and get ready that night, not with these doubts, not with these negative connotations to go into day 2, but to be pumped up, jacked up, ready to go, be in an area or position where you can actually, get some fish of size and actually be able to contend and be competitive and have a shot.
Yeah, it was awesome. And, I mean, there wasn't any specific real boat positioning going on. I mean, we were fishing grass clumps out there. That's the whole key to this thing. But, I mean, it was just the fish were there. They were spread out. The biggest thing I had to do was there's 3 things you got to do as a co-angler, and it's either cast, reel, or fight a fish. If you're not doing those 3, you're wasting time if the big motor's not running. That's the way I look at it. And that's all I did all day, man. I made probably over 1,000 casts. I don't know.
Yeah, and what you did was you kind of were smart as a co-angler. As a co-angler, you never want to replicate what your boater is doing. No. Even if you're throwing the same bait, you want to make a different cast or a different presentation, right? Yeah. And that's what you did. I mean, your boater was throwing a drop shot. So instead of you even trying to finesse it down more, you said, screw that, I'm going to jack it up, and it paid out for you, and it cashed in. So that was pretty sweet. So essentially, when you say these grass clumps, is it like isolated grass clumps that you're trying to just dredge a crankbait nearby, or are you not even taking the bottom? Like, what was your presentation?
Well, okay, we're in like 11 to 15 feet of water, and there's already like a couple of feet of grass off the bottom. But there was just these clumps of grass that were even longer than a couple of feet, Mm-hmm. So the key was for me, if you could visually see some of that grass, run it right beside it. Other times it's just making so many fan casts in an area that you're going to hit the top of those grass clumps.
Take him out.
When it's sunny out, you can see it really easily, but we were literally in the middle of a thunderstorm. It was like trying to keep your balance, worried about lightning. There was so much static electricity in the air that I could raise my rod tip above my head and it sounded like a taser. Now, I'm not even joking. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. It freaked both of us out because he's never experienced that bad static electricity either. So it got to one point where we got a break in the rain and you could really hear how loud that static was on the rod tip. I just kind of like set my rod down and he did too. We both just kind of stared at each other for a second like, should we like move or something? This is weird. He was like, yeah, it is. I don't like it. I was like, me neither. So we moved like a couple hundred yards and we were good to go. That was some weird stuff right there.
That was probably very spooky. Yeah. That would have freaked me out. That probably would have sent a lot of guys home.
I think that's why, well, you know, you don't know there was static till you get up there. But once we got up there, we didn't see another boat. We didn't see another bass fisherman for like 2 hours.
That's good.
The weather laid down and guys felt safe enough to make it up there. But I think us getting there so early, well, I know for a fact us getting there so early is what got me my 3 biggest fish, over 5 pounds.
So did you crack those right away, or was it kind of like spread out?
The first 2 were almost right away. The first one was on the second cast at that spot. And the second one, maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, and we just started getting jacked up. Like, oh, my God. He's like, man, you got 2 fish in the live well over 10 pounds. I was like, yeah, that's insane. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's pretty slick.
He was getting excited. We were both pumped. Because it's one of them lakes where you could both catch 20 pounds. You know, that's how Lake St. Clair is. When it's on, you could put up. It's not out of the realm of possibility to catch 2 25-pound sacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. If you were in day 1 Bassmaster Elite Series Lake St. Clair, you'd be tied for 3rd right now.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Ray Hanselman Jr. has 22.3.
Heck yeah! I was watching it earlier, but I got busy at work.
Yeah, it's 2 24-pound bags. John Cox is winning it right now with almost 25 pounds, 24 pounds, 12 ounces. And the big fish is 6 pounds on the money.
Heck yeah. That's good stuff.
Now, did you get longer? Did you get longer?
Dude, that's another story right there. We weighed my 3 biggest fish at the boat because they all look so close in size. And we weighed a few. One of them was like 5'4". The other one, I forget what it was, but the third one was like 5'10". And that was according to my boater's scale. Well, bring my fish up there, weigh them all and everything, and was taking out a fish for big fish. And I thought I memorized the fish because there was a specific scar on that fish's upper jaw. Yeah, I was trying to remember so I knew which fish to grab. But I guess I didn't look close enough to see if 2 fish had a scar. I don't know. Or we just got the fish weights mixed up at the boat. But the fish I grabbed and put up there weighed 5'2" on FLW scale. And if it was the same fish, I don't think the scales would be 8 ounces difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not saying I would have won it, but I think I grabbed the wrong fish. It definitely should have been over 5'2" according to their scale on the stage.
Yeah. Dang. That is a bummer. That's what another.
I think that would have been a
$500?
couple hundred. I think it was going to be a couple $100.
Like,
450.
Is it 227? Is it 227?
Is that what it was?
Oh no, I see. So I look at the payouts right now, and I see you obviously, and it paid out to 18th place, and then 24th place had $500, and 29th had 227.
Oh wow!
I don't know what the other one's from, but
I don't know.
I only got $216 this weekend for a lunker. I won lunker at the St. Lawrence River, and it was only $200.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it's $200 I didn't have. I'm not complaining. It was 5.59, and I didn't think that was going to hold up whatsoever. I thought for sure somebody was going to catch a 6.
Yeah, that's a big fish, though. That is a big fish.
It was cool, dude. So for those who don't know, I had a Bass Federation New York tournament on Sunday at St. Lawrence River. We had, I think it was about 60-ish boats, and I got linked with Mr. Dean Meckes, who I'm trying to get on the show as well. And I got a very good pick, not only because Dean is an amazing dude, but Dean is also a guide on the St. Lawrence River. So I already knew I was going to be around the fish. I just needed to make it count. And it was kind of cool. So Dean and I got along very quick, real early, and we had mutual friends with Zach. You know him because he's been on the show, Destin Demarian. So he's
Okay.
He's good friends with Destin. So we got along right off the bat, right there. We got that mutual connection. And dude, it was like a fun fishing day. It was almost like a team tournament, obviously, but we're not using the same fish because our minds just kind of like linked together. Like we agreed on everything, and obviously he knows the river, so like. I would toss out ideas and he'd take them into account, and then we kind of like work together on it. It was kind of cool. But obviously his opinion was going to trump anything, not only because he's a boater, but he knows the river way better than me. That was my first time up there fishing on the river. But what was cool is, we found some fish early. He caught like a 4-pounder, and we were catching numbers, but we weren't catching anything good. We were only catching like 1 or 2 pounders. We both had our limits. But I ended up switching over, and I'll say what I was using right now. At the beginning, what I was using was the flatworm, the Maxent, the Berkeley flatworm. But that's been like the complete rave, right? Everyone's been using it, and it caught me. I had like almost 16 pounds for the 3 fish on the first day of practice on that flatworm. So that's what I had gone in thinking, like, I'm not going to put this down all day long. Well, I couldn't catch anything over 3 pounds. I picked up another bait that I'm probably not going to throw out there, but it was just a bigger presentation. And essentially, like, dude, first drop was a 4.5, and then maybe 10 minutes later, next drop was that 5.5, and it was kind of funny because what happened was I had dropped down, I had caught a 3-pounder, right, and I'm reeling it in. And Dean comes over, nets the fish for me, and he didn't have a rubber net. So do you know how madness of a drop shot in a non-rubber net can be?
Oh yeah, that sucks.
So it was madness, right? So I'm getting it. I fizz this fish, I put it in the live well, and what I do, like before even I do any of that, is I take my backup drop shot rod and I drop it right down while I'm doing this, just to not to waste any time.
Oh yeah,
so
that's smart.
Yeah, so I had dropped that down, and okay, fizz the fish, put that in, and I'm about to like try to undo the drop shot, and I look up at Dean, he goes fish, and I'm like, crap, like my drop shot is all tangled in this, so I left myself with one choice. I went and I bit my line, cut it, ran up there, netted his fish. I look back, and my rod is about to fly off the boat, and I come back on there, and I reel into it, and it was that 5-pounder.
Oh,
so that kind of clued me in, though. It's like, yes, that was kind of lucky, because who knows if I was holding the rod, what would have happened. Yeah. But that clued me into the rest of the day. I got some key bites, too, just completely not even moving the drop shot, just dropping it to hit bottom and don't even move it, just dead stick. And it was kind of cool how that works and how taking different key clues from that day. And Dean caught some fish off of that too, and that's doing that same thing. And we both took clues from that and each from each other's bites, and that's how we kind of worked together. So it was pretty cool. It was an awesome day. I had 12 pounds. It was 12.94 for 3 fish, which was pretty nice.
Heck yeah.
So, and I got longer. Yeah, it was a fun day. It was a good one. It wasn't a win, but it was a fun day.
Oh, that's your plaque back there, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
There's not many tournaments I fish where I can actually have a chance to win a plaque. So when you got them, you got to put them up there.
Heck yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dead sticking dragon technique works good on Lake St. Clair. Like a lot of people drag tubes and Ned rigs because they're a little lighter. Ned rigs with the weedless deal on them because they're a little lighter and they can just kind of float on top of that grass, get a good drift pattern going over a productive area. That's like a really good way to catch big fish. But man, that day with the thunderstorm, I knew I had to send something down there that made a lot of noise. That just made the most sense to me.
When they're all in a funk and that pressure system's coming through and they're all getting weird, either you slow it down, but like you said, in my mind, I think speed it up, Get something to go crazy. That pressure system's probably got them all wired because it's usually post-frontal that probably drives them, down deep and to get finicky. That lightning's a weird topic, and it's not something I fully understand yet. Because lightning is supposed to suck them to the bottom, and they don't usually bite much, which is weird. But It's one system that, I might have for a topic of debate because that could be interesting because I'm curious what it actually does because I feel like it can go both ways, but it's interesting. But it's cool going into the river. And one thing I researched, with gobies, and that's obviously a big bait for St. Clair. That's a forward St. Clair smallmouth. So obviously, when you drop shot so a lot of guys try to replicate a goby, and a lot of guys are kind of twitching their rod, just like a drop shot would. You always kind of want it moving. Mm-hmm. So what was kind of weird to me is yes, you'll get bites doing that, but the way I looked at it, and I watched a bunch of videos, and I think it was Dave Mercer's video from Bass where he put out actual live video of on the bottom swimming with gobies, and you don't see them moving frantically. They make one little move left, one little move right, and it's very, very lethargic, which is probably why it makes it such an easy meal for smallies.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of try to replicate throughout the week when I was drop shotting, because you see these guys going out and they're just constantly twitching their line slack, but I just kind of went very slow with it, and it seemed to work out. I got some big bites doing it. So
heck yeah. Yeah, that's where the good big old tube comes into play good up there.
I tried a tube, man. Yeah, I didn't get any bites on it. It broke off on a lot of it just because certain areas you're fishing, you're going to break off a lot. So I was like, okay, it's not worth losing all my tube jigs. Save them for Erie.
Heck yeah. I threw tubes earlier in the year out here at Lake St. Clair, but once, I will throw a drop shot every now and then. And whenever I get into a drop shot and I start catching some yellow perch on the drop shot, I usually just put it down and I start chunking and winding. And that's when I start catching the big ones.
Yeah.
That's in the areas that I've been fishing.
Yeah, because usually, like you just mentioned, you find that perch, you find that forage, there's going to be a predator fish nearby.
Absolutely.
Whether it's, a 5-pound smallmouth or 40-plus inch muskie, one of them's going to be nearby.
Yeah. I hooked into a big old pike. Oh, my God. I caught 4 fish. Okay. So I guess I'm kind of jumping back to that day. So I had 4 fish, and it was getting close to the last 2 hours of the day. And Boater was worried about the weather getting back. He wanted to leave extra early to make sure we had time to weigh my fish, because I had 4 fish in the live well that were going to weigh 18 pounds. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was good with going back early. And I had 4 fish, and it was one of the last casts before we left. And I hooked into something, dude. I was like, oh my God. I sat there and fought it. He was like, dude, you're going to win this thing. Like, he was getting all pumped up. We were getting pumped up, and it comes up, and it's a big old pike hanging around that grass, What do you expect? And it was on the only crankbait. I only had one of those crankbaits. That 3XD I was throwing all day, only had one of them.
So now, is that a bite? Because, you say you only had one of them, like one of that color, or just the bait?
One of that color.
So was that a presentation that you went out on a whim with the conditions to throw, or is that something you've thrown previously?
I've thrown that color out there one other time and did good, but I didn't catch a lot of big ones on it. I caught some 3s, some 3s, close to 4-pounders. I didn't catch any big ones like I did the other day, but that was I bought that color randomly just a few weeks ago, just to have a little something different in my tackle box.
Yeah, and
I did good on it like a week or 2 ago out there. So I figured out that's the one I need to be throwing today. Started slinging it. It was just white. It's a white and blue color, whatever Strike King's special name for that is. It was the ticket. I wanted something kind of loud. I mean, natural's good, but when it's hot and warm, something a little more loud that they can see from farther away. It's kind of what I was going for. Loudness and the noise. All of those variables that just they can't not see it if you get it near them. So they have to go through the thought process of if they want to eat it or get away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting. As being loud as possible, trigger that bite, piss them off, attract as many fish as possible.
Yeah, because you got waves, you got wind, you got thunder, you got the rain beating the top of the water. There's so much stuff going on. Like, the thought of throwing a drop shot down there and going tick, 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 making no noise at all just really didn't. honestly, it didn't make sense to me in that kind of weather. But
yeah,
not saying that it can't work. It's just my thought process on it. That's
but
all.
in that condition, yeah,
I even caught one on a big old jerk bait.
There you go.
What's that?
It's your bread and butter. Is that jerk bait?
Oh God, I'm going through some bad service.
Uh-oh. I think
Welcome back to another episode of Flint, Michigan's internet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. You're good.
You hear me now? Okay. We lost you for a second there.
I'm in Flint, Michigan right now. The water's bad and the internet's horrible.
I was going to say, it's probably all that mercury in the water getting away with your cell service.
Probably.
Have you seen that documentary? Random topic, but have you seen that documentary about how bad the water is in Flint, Michigan?
Yeah, I did on Netflix like a year or two ago.
Yeah, if you put a lighter, people are taking lighters to their faucets and their sinks were going up in flames.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, some crazy stuff. Yeah, I went and every time I would drink out of tap water at home since that documentary. If it tastes a little bit weird, I always test it with a lighter just in case.
Yeah.
Are we losing you again? There's a little delay here.
I can hear you good now.
All right, hold on. Let me remove you and add you real quick. See if it fixes it. Can you hear me?
Cha-ching! Yeah.
All right, cool. Delay fixed. Okay, getting back on the topic. Yeah, so cranking it's not even pre-frontal. It wasn't even pre. You were during frontal is what it was.
Yeah.
You were in the midst of the chaos, and you thought throwing the chaos was going to trigger the bites, and it did. And that's how you got those bigger class fish. You didn't catch numbers. You caught straight size. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's how a lot of the elites are catching them today, is cranking.
Yeah, I did tune in earlier, and I seen Seth Fighter. As soon as I tuned in, Seth Fighter was hooking into one on a crankbait, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you catch them out there, baby.
Yep. For you guys who don't know yet or have not seen, you guys got to head over to Zach's YouTube or Instagram page to see, 12 6+ pounders you caught on St. Clair this spring?
Yes, in April and May. I haven't caught a 6-pounder since May, but those 2 months were just crazy, full of giant fish.
Yeah. Did you go out there during the spawn at all?
I don't think I made it out one time and actually tried to catch a fish on the bed. The spawn on Lake St. Clair, no, I didn't even make it for that. I was all pre-spawn, and as soon as I got done spawning, I was back out. I guess I wasn't at work. I think I gave it a rest because it was getting hot out there. I don't know. I don't know what my excuse is for that.
Yeah, you did go after a bunch of different other lakes in Michigan, the different tens and thousands of lakes they have out there.
Yeah, I did spend a lot of time up in northern Michigan.
Yeah.
I did do that.
So was there any other keys, clues, things that kind of helped you with your win besides that deep crank and that jerkbait bite?
It was just my history with that area, and that's what I expected to catch big fish on a crankbait there because of the grass. Earlier in the year, whenever it was pre-spawn, that whole area, the grass was like that tall in there. It was super, super short, and there was big patches of sand and stuff. Like when the sun was high, you can see a patch of grass on the bottom here, patch of grass on the bottom there, patch of grass on the bottom over there. You could really see those defined weed edges and visually fish them and stuff. But as the year has gone on, I feel like those fish were in there feeding pre-spawn. Spawn came on, then post-spawn, they went back out to deeper water. And now the water temperature dropped there a few degrees within the past week. So I think a lot of those fish came from the deeper water up into this taller grass, because now that it's summertime, this grass is like a couple of feet tall in a lot of areas. And I think them smallmouth are really relating to that as cover, you know what I mean? Because it's such a featureless body of water, there's not trees laying over in the water. There's rock piles here and there, but they're not everywhere. So I think grass is those grass clumps are there. That's what they relate to as structure in a lot of areas around there. So that was what when that dude called me that night, that's the first thing I thought of was cranking next to some clumps of grass. And that's what we did. That was nuts.
That's awesome, dude.
I kept telling him out there in the boat, I said, dude, this is literally exactly what I was imagining us doing today, minus the insane thunderstorm that we thought we were going to die in.
Minus the madness. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that. No doubt. But that's got to be a sick bite. I mean, did they throttle it? Was it mush? Did they knock slack in it? What was that bite like?
Just loads up. It's just like you're hung up on something, and it ain't the bottom.
That's pretty sweet.
I mean, and it's similar to the jerkbait. I mean, they do slam it, but you've got a constant strain on your crankbait, constantly winding on it when they hit it. It's as long as they don't get only the back treble, if they hit it right. And that's another thing that I was thinking to myself about that I wanted to talk about too. That 3XD is small enough for a big smallmouth to just eat it. You know, you sling a 6XD out there in that deeper water. 6XD is bigger, and they're still going to eat it. But if you hook one just with the back treble hooks and you fight it and get it close to the boat, they'll head thrash, and sometimes the weight of that crankbait is just going to lop it out just like a spoon. You know what I mean? So that 3XD, it's small enough they can just eat it, and you can usually pin them with both hooks, and you don't have to worry. Once it loads up, you can almost guarantee they're coming in. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
And I almost lost it to a freaking pike. I couldn't believe it.
Well, dang, dude. That's pretty sweet. Well, congratulations again on the dub. So that being said, moving forward, was that the last BFL up that way, or do you have more coming up?
No, there's another 2-day tournament at the end of September. They call it. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I had to burp.
You're good.
It's like the Super Trail tournament. It's a Saturday and a Sunday 2-day event, and that's on the Detroit River again. So
I'm sure you're pretty excited for that.
Yeah.
Get a good draw.
And it was so funny. Since I won this one, it was like 2 days later, like just the other day, I was like, well, might as well fish the next one since it's on the Detroit River. And that way I can, if I do get some kind of good points with that tournament, maybe that'll help me out for something. Well, I did that. And then I was talking to another guy that fishes these BFLs, and apparently I qualify for the regional in La Crosse, Wisconsin on the Mississippi River. As long as you pay for all 5 events and fish 2, or you win one, then you win and you're in. So it looks like I'm going to the regionals in October also. And from my understanding, it's free entry.
I believe they hook you up, yeah. So that's my goal here with the Fed is I have one more tournament on Cayuga, and I believe I have to stay in the top 9. So I was second place right now with points, but I believe if I get like a top 25 or top 20, that could average me out into the top 9.
Nice.
I believe. I don't know if that math is correct. I could be completely wrong. It's obviously going to depend on that day and what happens, who fishes it, who doesn't fish it. Yeah. I'm sure there's some guys that probably cherry pick that event because it's on the river. But we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, depending on how that happens, I'll qualify for the regional either like next spring or next fall or however the heck that's going to work. That'll be a blast. That'll be awesome. Because that gives you a chance to go to the national championship. So,
yeah. I mean, the regional, I think the payout for the regional for a co-angler is like, if I'm not mistaken, I think I looked it up earlier and it was like $50,000 or something.
That's pretty slick if that's the case.
I think that's what I looked up because I was running through the All-American, the regional, and stuff like that. And like payouts significantly more at the regional, and then you have a chance to go from regional to the All-American. I don't know much about the Bass Nation or the Federation stuff. I just honestly kind of dove into the FLW stuff because it was so easy to do online. Literally, you want to enter a tournament? Oh, you don't have to be in a club or nothing. Just sign up. Okay. Yeah. So it was so convenient.
That's sweet.
Turning out pretty cool, I reckon.
Well, I hope you do well, man. I'll be rooting for you. Obviously, we're going to stay in touch. We talk almost on a daily basis, so I'm sure we'll see how you do coming up in the fall. That's going to be pretty sweet. I hope you can make it up with your schedule. That's what I hope.
With my schedule? What you mean?
Because you'll be in Kentucky, or correct, in October?
Oh, Daddy don't work on tournament days. my boss, we're on a good terms about this fishing stuff. It's not. I'm not going to be missing a lot of weekdays, but the regional tournament, I already told him I'm taking a whole week off, and he's cool with it. So
that's awesome, dude. You got that's what you want. That's ideal. So congratulations on that.
Yeah,
don't let that one go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'd be able to do it if I didn't have a good employer that understood. Yeah, it's not something I'm trying to take off work for all the time. It's a weekend deal for now.
Yeah.
The regional thing is just a unique opportunity.
Yeah. Take it and run with it, man. See how far you can go. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that would be working towards a dream. I'm tired of I'm tired of working towards other people's dreams, hence going to work for somebody else every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd much rather be able to fish for a living,
Yeah.
One day.
I like it, dude. Well, I'm pumped for you. Congratulations again.
Heck yeah, you too.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. We got a bunch of derbs coming up here soon. We got a packed schedule. Yeah. I got derbies all the way till the end of October.
That's nice. The fall bite will be kicking off before too long.
Oh, man. I'm pumped, but it's also going to suck. And I'm sure you're torn just as I am about deer hunting.
Oh, well, yeah. Bow season starts up soon. And as bad as I want to get out and go scouting, I need to go fishing. I need to stay sharp.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. It's gonna be a fun fall. I hope it's gonna be well for all of us. And I wish you well. Is there anything else you want to add to it about your day? Any thanks you want to give? Any sort of deal before we hop off here?
Super shout out to Todd Schmitz. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. That was my boater on Sunday. Awesome dude. Very talkative. We agreed on everything. Even we agreed on not seeking shelter and fishing through the torrential downpour. I mean, he was a cool dude. Cool dude.
That's awesome, man. Especially when you get a good boater. Getting that with Dean, like you just mentioned, like with Dean, it worked out well. It meshed well.
Even if I wouldn't have won, I would have had a great day out fishing because he was that cool of a dude,
It would have changed your opinion on how Saturday went.
Yeah. Doubt. It wasn't that great of a day.
Yep, I hear you, man. All right, dude. I appreciate you again coming on, and obviously you're going to be on the show multiple more times. And like I mentioned in the intro, you're a regular face. You're always welcome on, buddy. Congratulations again, and excited to see what you're going to do in the fall.
Heck yeah, I appreciate it, man. Had a good time. I just love fishing. That's all I got.
Well, we'll drive safe, get home, tell the family I said hello, and hope to see you on the water again here soon.
Heck yeah, we'll definitely have to meet up and go fishing in person instead of talk about it all the time.
Yeah, I was talking to Benny, dude. We're talking about doing some sort of St. Clair trip in the fall, but if that's the case, then we'll get out fishing at some point. Hopefully, New York can freaking take Michigan off their travel ban list. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm really trying to make out St. Clair because, as you know, that's all I can freaking talk about is coming out to Michigan. So we'll make it work.
It's a dream come true. It's a dream. It's literally a smallmouth dreams can happen there.
Yes. All right, man. We will talk soon. Thank you again.
You too. Had a good time.
Right. Take care. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode there with Zach. Congratulations again on winning the co-angler side of the BFL. If things went his way, he would have cashed on the pro side because he beat all the boaters as well. So kudos to Zach. Great tournament. Hopefully he does very well in the fall in the regional. And thank you guys again for watching and listening. Shout outs again to Queen Tackle and Douglas Outdoors. Played a huge part this past weekend at the St. Lawrence River in my success there, and also just catching a lot of fish. So if you guys want a very high quality drop shot rod, look into the DXS, the Douglas X Matrix It's a 6'10" 3XF, 6'10", medium light, extra fast drop shot rod. It's just an absolute dream. Extended EVA handles. Just check it out. Check the links below. Thank you guys again for watching. We'll see you next time.